Hello guys, welcome to Code Enzyme, and in this video we are going to discuss all the problems of division for starters 21 Codechef. So these are the 7 problems that we are going to discuss: Instagram, perfect trio, Snapchat, pet store, maximum, LIS, flip the prefix, and at the last we have expected sum. And by looking at the successful submissions, we can see that approximately till this point we have very easy problems. So we will not be spending much time on these 3 problems. These are very easy ones, and we will spend most of the time on these 4 problems. So let's not waste any time and let's quickly get started. So first problem we are going to discuss is Instagram. So this is the problem, and there are no prerequisites to solve this problem. Chef categorizes an Instagram account as spam if the following count of the account is more than 10 times the follower counts. So we just need to take these x and y as inputs, and if x is greater than 10 times y, we have then it is a spam account. And these are the constraints. So we can just I will just show you the code for this. There is no logic here. So first I am taking x and y as input, and then I am doing if x is greater than 10 times y, I am printing yes, otherwise I am printing no. So this is the Python code. Let's quickly move on to the next problem. This is this is the second problem, and the name of the problem is perfect trio. Chef defines a group of 3 friends as a perfect group if the age of one person is equal to the sum of the age of remaining 2 persons. Given that the age of 3 persons in a group A, B and C, find whether the group is perfect. So we are given ages of 3 persons A, B and C. So I will just tell you the logic here. If we have A plus B equal to C, that means if it is a perfect group, then A plus B plus C will be equal to C plus C, which means it will be equal to 2 times of C, right? So I can just say that if the maximum element times 2 is equal to the sum of these 3 elements, then it is a perfect group. So we can see that this is a maximum element, times 2 is 60, and when I sum all these 3, it is also 30 plus 20 plus 10, which is also 60. Then we are printing yes, otherwise we are printing no. So the code is simple. A, B, C we are taking as input, and if A plus B plus C is equal to 2 times the maximum of these 3 elements, I can print yes, otherwise I will print no. So let's move on to the next problem. I hope I am not going too fast. If that is so, you can just comment in the you can comment down the video. I will correct it in the next video. Okay. So the third problem is Snapchat. The most popular feature on Snapchat is Snapchat streak. A streak is maintained between 2 people if both of them send at least one snap each other daily. If on any day either of the person forgets at least one of the snap, then the streak breaks and the streak count is set to 0. So Chef and Shafina are maintaining a Snapchat streak. A is the Shafina one and B is the Chef. Find the maximum streak streak count they achieved in those end days. Okay. So for this one, if I compare, okay, there was 1, 2 and 3, so there are no zeros, so I print 3 here. And these ones both are we have zeros on both days, so answer is 0. For this, if I compare it, there is a 2-day streak, then a 0 and 0, so maximum is 2. And the next we have 0, 1, 1-day streak, then others are 0, so I have answer is 1. So this is a very simple problem, and if you know the basics of array and pointers, you can easily solve it. So I am taking I will show you the code now. I am taking n as the input. Next I am taking a and b list as the input. Now I have 3 variables, answer, streak and I. I is my pointer, both are initialized to 0. So while I is less than n, at the end of while loop I am increasing the I. If both of these ai and bi are greater than 0, I am adding streak. I am doing streak plus equal to 1, and now I will check if this streak is more than my answer. Then I will update my answer variable. Else I will reset my streak to 0. And after the end of this while loop, I will just print my answer variable. So I hope you were able to understand it. Let's move on to the next problem. So this problem is called pet store, and from here we have slightly difficult problems, and it uses hash maps, I guess. Okay, let's see the problem statement. Alice and Bob went to a pet store. There are n animals in the store where ith animal is of type AI. Alice decides to buy some of these n animals. Bob decides that he will buy all the animals left in the store after Alice has made her purchase. Find out whether it is possible for Alice and Bob to end up with the exactly same multi-set of animals. So multi-set means that the order does not matter, but the elements can repeat. Let's see. If 4 4 4, since the we can't divide 3 as a we can't divide 3 by 2, so one will get 4, another will get 4 4. So basically we can't have equal numbers only, so we can't we will print a no here. 2 3 3 2. Okay, let Alice take 2 3, let Bob take 3 2. So it is a yes. And 4, we can't divide this 1 for both of them, right? So it is a no. And in the fifth question we have in this test case we have 5 5 5 5, so 5 times. So we will give 2 of these to Alice, 2 of these to Bob, and we will also divide the ones. So answer is yes. So basically the catch is we can maintain a frequency hash table. So for every element I will count the number of times it has appeared in the array, and if every element has appeared even number of times, I will say yes, otherwise I will print no. So let's see the code. Okay, so we have I'm taking I'm making a dictionary here, a hash map like that, an ordered map. I'm taking n as input, and this is my list. If it is already present, then I'm just increasing the value by 1. Else I'm initializing it to 1. And now I have a variable check, and this one, for those who don't know bitwise operators, this di and 1, what it basically checks if di is an odd number. So basically I'm just checking if di is an odd number. How? This AND is a bitwise operator. 0 and 0 is 0, 1 and 0 is 0, and 1 and 1 is 1. So since every even number in binary it should end with a 0. So if n and 1 is 1, it is an odd number. If n and 1 is 0, it is an even number. So and 1 is interpreted as a true and 0 is interpreted as a false. So I can simply say if di and 1. So if this is true, that means if this is 1, then di was an odd number. I will update my check value to 0, and I will break out of this loop. In the end, if this check is true, then I will print a yes, otherwise I will print a no here. So this is the code. Let's move on to the next problem. So this is problem number 5, maximizing LCS, and it has some prerequisites. The prerequisites are dynamic programming and LCS, longest common subsequence. And actually I have tried to explain this longest common subsequence, but it would be better to for you to just see a video on YouTube about this concept. However, let's just see the approach for this problem. Alice and Bob are playing a game using a string of length n. They both have their individual string which are initially empty. Both players take alternate turns. Alice starts first. In Alice's turn, she will choose a prefix of s and remove the chosen prefix from s and then append it to her string. In Bob's turn, he will choose a suffix si and remove the suffix from the string and reverse the suffix and append it to the end of his string. Chef has decided to reward them if the length of the longest common subsequence of Alice and Bob string is maximized. Help Chef calculate the length of maximum LCS that can be achieved by Alice and Bob. Okay, so let's see the sample inputs here. So we have AB. So Alice can take AB, Bob can take AB. Wait a second, I think I explained it here. Okay, so if there is AB, let Alice take AB. Let Alice take this prefix AB. Then Bob can take this AB and reverse it, so Bob will get BA. Then the longest common subsequence is either just A or either just B, so the length is only 1. Okay, so that is the output that we get here. Next is ABCC DA. So in this ABCC DA, I will give this half length as to Alice and half length to Bob, and because that is the optimal solution. It is not that we always have to give half to one and half to other, but I mean, we have to give the length. For the optimal solution we have to give length half, but it is not always like this cut only. We will see about that later, but for now we can see that if I give Alice this and Bob this, then we can see that AC is the common subsequence and the length is 2. And now if we have all A's, like right here, if we don't cut it in half here, if I cut it in half, the maximum subsequence is AA, so length is 2. Otherwise we will get 1 and 1 if we cut it like this here. Okay, so the most optimal solution will be to give at least half numbers, at least divide them equally, close to as close as possible. We have to give numbers such that their longest common subsequence will be maximum length. Okay, so the maximum common subsequence will be when we will find out the maximum common subsequence of the string, and we will then and the reverse of the string, and whatever is the maximum common subsequence, we will divide the length by 2 and give those to each of these players. So I will define my DP of I and j as longest common subsequence of prefix of string 1 till ith position and string 2 till jth position. So my table will look something like this, 2D array. So if I have only B and if I have only A, then my common subsequence will be 0. If I have these two, then B and B are common. Otherwise, so that is how these 4 values I have. And similarly, we can see that if I only have A and B here, then the length will be 0. A and BA, then the length will be 1, common subsequence. And here, if we have AB and ABA, then I can see if I ABA and BA, then we can see that BA is common, so the length is 2. Or we can also interpret it as when these two values are equal, I am doing 1 plus dp of this corner, just I minus 1 into j minus 1, right? And if these two are not equal, like in this case, I am doing maximum of these two values. Okay, so we will keep doing that, and the final value will be our answer. You can try filling this table yourself to understand it better. This is the string and this is the reverse of the string, that's what we are trying to find, and this is our test case 1. In the end, we have to divide this answer by 2 and take the floor of it to get the final answer. And it is also mentioned in the question that we have to use PyPy for the Python submissions, and also with faster input output, otherwise it will give me a TLE even if my implementation is correct. So make sure you have selected PyPy 3 if you are submitting it in Python. So I have a function which will calculate the LCS for me. So you can just, it is a very common topic, you can find this code anywhere. So basically I am taking the input and I am forming a reversed string like this using string slashing, and next I am printing the length of the longest common subsequence divided by 2. This is my final answer. So now let's see the next problem. I hope you were able to understand this properly. Okay, so the problem 6, the prerequisites are sliding window technique. Actually it is not a prerequisite, but it is better if you already know the concept. So the problem statement goes like, you are given a binary string s of length n and an integer k. You can perform the following operations on the string. Select a prefix of string s and flip all the characters of the prefix, and so 1 will become 0 and 0 will become 1. Find the minimum number of operations required to obtain a substring of length k such that all the strings are of the substring are 1. Okay, so we need a so for the sample test case we need a 3, so we can just select all these 3 integers and in one move we can convert it. For this 2 we already have it, and for this 3 we can, if we want to convert this, then it will take 2 moves. First I'm going to convert these both here, and next I'm going to convert this one, so it will take 2 moves to invert this 0, right? So let's see the constraints here. We have test case, number of test cases 2000, and n goes to 3 into 10 raised to power 5. Basically we have about 10 raised to power 8 operations, and the time limit is 1 second, so we can't go more than big O of n time. So let's try to analyze this string here. So what we can do, since for k equal to 5 we want to find for k equal to 5, so if we have this substring and we want to make this to 1 1 1 1 1, so it will take so this is the first substring, and if we try we can see that there is 1 change, 2 change and 3 change, so total number of changes are 3. And to invert this 0, it will take me 2 moves, because first I'm going to convert this this much and then this much, so it will take me 2 moves just to make this 1 and another 2 moves to make this 1. So total my answer for this substring will be 4, which is just 3 plus 1, the number of changes, right? And I can also try for others. Now this is for this also it will for this 0 it will take 2 moves, and for these 2 zeros it will also take 2 moves, and the total number of changes were 3, so total number of flips is 3 plus 1. And let's also, when I analyzed other substrings like this third one and this fifth one, which were ending with ones, right, and I got, actually if the string is ending with 1, then this 0 will take 1 move and these 2 zeros will take 2 moves, and the answer is 3. So number of changes is equal to the number of flips. For this also goes the same way. So we can see that if the last index is 0, then my answer is flips plus 1, else my answer is flips only. So I think I went a bit too fast here. You can just try and write these yourself to find out what is happening. We are just counting the number of flips here, and if this string is ending with a 0, you can the answer is plus 3 plus 1, that is the number of flips plus 1, as my answer is the number of flips only. Okay, so now this is sorted, but how can we find the number of flips in O1? Because for every subarray we have to traverse it 5 times, right? So O of n will cost me traversing. Now if I again traverse it inside the subarray to find out the number of flips, it will cost me O of n again, so that will give me a complexity of O of n square, and it will give me a TLE. But we want to find it in O of 1, so what we can do is we can maintain a prefix change array. Suppose if this was our string, then we will start from 0 0. Now at this index we have 1 change, so we will update this to 1, then 1 1, and now for this 0 there was an incoming change, so I will update this to 0, and so on. So if I have had this subarray, I can say that 0 minus 0 is the number of changes. For this one I can say 1 minus 0, so we have for this array we have 1 change. If I want to consider this whole array, so I can say 2 minus 1, so we have total 1 flips in this whole array, right? So I can say number of flips ij is array of j minus array of I. Okay, so let's see the code. So first I'm taking n and k as the input, next I'm taking the string, and in here I'm making the changes array like this. If s of I minus 1 is equal to s of I, then I'm increasing my count and I'm initializing it here. So you can't do s of I equal to s of I plus 1. That will not give you the correct answer. You have to always check if the previous one is different for this to work. Next is also simple. If I'm going to check the number of flips, if it is ending with a 0, then I'm increasing the checks by 1 and I'm minimizing my answer. So this is the code. Let's move on to the next problem. And I think this is the toughest problem of the contest. The 7th problem is the expected sum. So there are n chits, out of which A chits have 1 written on them and B chits have 0 written on them, and A plus B is equal to n obviously. So Chef and Chefina are taking alternate turns. They both have personal score which is initialized to 0, and Chef starts first. Each player will pick a random chit among them and add the number of the written on the chit. Remove the chit that was picked. Okay, and we have to, and if the expected value is p by q, we want to print p into q raised to power minus 1 mod this. Okay, so I think this is something I will not cover in this video. This is just modular arithmetic. You can just watch them somewhere. I will cover the this how you can calculate the expected value of the score, right? Because that is more important here. So you need to know the concept of expected value first. So expected value is just x into PDF of x. So PDF is the probability density function. So like I will explain you with the sample input. Like for the first one, we have a equal to 1 and b equal to 1. Now Chef will try to Chef will first pick up a chit, and if that chit was 0, he will get a score of 0, right? And the probability of 0 is only half. So f of 0 will become half. Means I am calculating the probability that the score of what was his name, Chef. The score of Chef is 0. Next I am also calculating the probability that the score of Chef is 1, and that is also half, right? Because either Chef will get this chit or that chit with 1 written on it or that. So I can say that f of 0 is 0. The probability of Chef getting a score of 0 is half. The probability of Chef getting a score of 1 is half. Okay, so my expectation is using this formula x into f of x. This is a very important formula and you must remember it. Okay, so it is sigma x into fx. So 0 into f of 0 plus 1 into f of 1, which is equal to half. So probability of so this is the expected value of score. So expected value of score is half. Now from this p becomes 1 and q becomes 2. So you can just try to find it using the modular arithmetic, and this will give you this answer. Let's move on to the next test case. If a is 0 and b is 5, so f of 0 is certain that okay, whatever chit he will open, he will get a score of 0 only. Even after all the, I think, 3 moves, Chef will get 0 only. So our expectation is also 0. And similarly we have input 3. You can go ahead and try to calculate f1, f2, f0. I think f0 was 1 by 35, f1 was I think it was 12 by 35, whatever, but the final answer was I remember we calculated it was 12 by 7. So p was 12 and q was 7, and you can use that and try to and you will get this answer only, this answer, final answer here. So how we can calculate it? So let's try to solve another problem similar to this one, and using this result we will arrive at that solution. So for example, if we have this set 1 2 3 till n, we want to find the expected value of subset of size k containing all the numbers in this set. Okay, so each integer, since these all numbers are distinct, we can and every number can be chosen, each integer has a probability of being chosen equal. So we can say the probability of being chosen is 1 by n. So expected sum becomes k, that is the size of the subset, means the number of elements in the subset, into 1 by n, the probability of each, and the sum of these numbers, which is n into n plus 1 by 2. So the answer is k into n plus 1 by 2. Now if we consider the problem here, and there we have a times 1 and b times 0. So our set is something like 1 1 1 1 a times and 0 0 0 0 b times. So these two are very similar problems, right? Because each number, the probability of picking this one or this 0 or this 0, they are basically the same, right? So the probability of integer, so the probability of chit that we will pick up is 1 upon a plus b, just like here, right? And the expected sum, we can also find it like this, and here the k will become the number of pickups by chef, which is the seal of a plus b by 2, or we can say the floor of a plus b plus 1 by 2, right? So the expected sum becomes k, that is this value, into the probability, which is 1 upon a plus b, of picking up each jet, and the sum of all these subsets, just like here, sum of all these values, we have a, sum of all these is a, right? So we have a. So if I compare it, my p will become the numerator, which is k into a, and my q will become a plus b. And now I can do modular arithmetic to find out the solution. So this is the code. I'm just taking a as b and as the input, n is a plus b, and then next I am multiplying, this is my numerator, and next I am doing modular arithmetic to find out the denominator. This is basically I'm just finding out q inverse, and next I am multiplying it with my answer and taking the mod. So I think this was a pretty tough problem. You can watch this more number of times if you feel like. So I hope I was able to explain all these problems correctly. If you were able to understand and learn something new, kindly like this video, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next time with more problems. So thank you for watching.